Hello there and welcome to episode 6 of the TEW 2020 save from then to now. We've got the first episode of Superstars of February, Friday week 1, and we are in a new location and it's fresh after the Royal Rumble. We have got a new WWF World Heavyweight Championship and a new thumbnail with a tear in my eye and all that. Got a new thumbnail on this for this coming month. We're in a new region for this coming month. It's going to be a nice little no pressure side because we're not in the massive rush towards WrestleMania. That'll be the next month, WrestleMania, which is on week 4 of March. I decided to move it from the first week of April to the last week of March because all of the other events are on the last week of a month, and I kind of want to keep that consistent block pattern going and not just throw in a random 5, then 3. Especially when we start doing more regular pay-per-views in the coming years. But the first show of February, Ric Flair's our new world champion, Money Inc. are our tag team champions, and we've got a big 2 matches for you on this show. We have got the main event for the Intercontinental Championship, Bret Hart versus one half of the tag team champions, DiBiase, in a match which, based on what we've seen so far, should be really good. And then in the semi-main event, Sid Justice, the runner-up in the Royal Rumble, takes on the up-and-coming Shawn Michaels. Should be a great show. Let's see where we are though. We are in the southeast for this month, and we are using the Nashville Municipal Auditorium for this show. Nashville, Tennessee. Got the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum. I was tempted to bring Honky Tonk Man back for this, or some of our USWA guys, although they're technically all in Memphis. But let's see what we can do with this show. And it is Flair opening the show, talking to Mean Gene Okerlund, saying, "When I came to this company, I told you I was the real world's champion. And none of you believed me. But look at me now. I am the world champion, just as I told you I was. Do you doubt me now?" Obviously it's Flair, so it's a lot more energetic. But it gets a 100 rating. It's a brilliant start to a new episode of Superstars and to a new month, starting with a 100 rating. Boom. Opening match sees the in-ring, in-save debut of Papa Shango, beating Brian Casello in 7:29 with the Voodoo Driver. It's a terrible match, embarrassing wrestling according to the description. 47 for Shango, 30 for Costello. Shango, Charles Wright is someone who, this is not the right gimmick for him. This gimmick I don't think will last long. I don't know if we'll go to Kama Mufasa, or if we do jump straight to the Godfather. I don't know if mid-90s WWF is the right place for that. There's a lot of questions with Charles Wright. Papa Shango, is that the right option? Is the Godfather the right option? Is Kama Mufasa the right option? Because one of them's got to be, let's be honest here. It's not like there's not a place for him in this era. What we got next? Next promo, Randy Savage. Ooh yeah. That's a promo backstage, just a pre-recorded. Basically saying that he wants the WWF World title. He feels, had he not have been distracted with Jake Roberts last night, had he not have had his match before the Rumble, he would have won. Because he still had that match and he still made it to the Final 4. So, if you want to go, then Flair, you know where I am. Basically, we are setting up the tease that it may be Savage versus Flair for Mania, because of course that's what it was in real life. But Savage does want the WWF title. Everybody should the title. It's supposed to be the most illustrious prize in all of sports entertainment. It's a 100 rating though. Great stuff. Promos on this show are being banging. The Texas Tornado picks up a quick victory over Skinner with the Tornado Punch. Goes 6 minutes. Gets a 66 for Texas Tornado. Skinner gets a 44. So Tornado. Kerry Von Erich is someone who I think should have probably been bigger in the WWF than he was. Obviously, the Von Erichs are gods down in Texas. We know this. But the fact that he never really pushed past the IC title level always kind of shocked me. 61 though, not too bad. The Nasty Boys are backstage with Jimmy Hart. They've not been seen pretty much since the first episode. And they're questioning Jimmy Hart, who's their manager. Both in kayfabe and... Well, in kayfabe, it's his job to book the matches. And they want a tag title shot. They want to be able to get a tag title shot against Money Inc. Jimmy Hart is a bit flustered by this. He's not sure what he's doing. And he says he will see what he can do. There's a 71, our weakest promo so far, but still better than all of the matches. We get a tag team match as the Beverly brothers lose to Coco Beware and Owen Hart. A nice little backtrack because Owen wasn't getting good chemistry with Jim, so we decided rather than push it down the road and just have the split breakup, let them just go their separate ways amicably. They'll still come together for the trios matches with Bret. And let Owen go and team with Coco for a bit. They pick up the win with the Bird Buster on Blake Beverly. That is Blake Beverly is a tongue twister. 50 rating, not too bad. Everyone's in the mid to high 4. Well, the low 40s for Coco, the high 40s for everyone else. So that's a pretty strong start to their life as a tag team. Also, we do kind of need a new babyface tag team, and they get a little promo afterwards. Owen's enjoying it, because as far as I'm aware, it wasn't until later this year they started teaming together. I may be wrong about that, and if I am, please do correct me. Natural disasters, quick beat the Bushwackers. It's exactly what you'd expect when you hear that match. Earthquake pins Luke in the end with an Earthquake splash. Gets a 59 overall, 64 for Earthquake, 54 for Typhoon. Butch and Luke are really basically borderline jobbers, borderline enhancement talent, and I think that's best spot for them at this point of their career. Sheepherders, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Bushwackers, not. Even though they're the exact same people. But 59 rating is a pretty good sort of mid-card tag team match. We then get Jake Roberts calling out Bret Hart because he wants a title. He wants something around his waist that won't strangle him to death if he makes a wrong move. Using snake metaphors, all that stuff. It's Jake Roberts. It's going to be a cryptic promo. I'm not great at writing a cryptic promo, so I'm not going to try and come up with one on the spot and fail miserably. 100 rating though. Back to our best for the promos. And here is the semi-main event. Shawn Michaels versus Sid Justice. And it's Shawn Michaels who picks up the win for a big reason. I mean, Sid was angry about this. He was pissed off. He did not want to lose this match, but I had a big reason for why I wanted Shawn to win this match, and that's because of the feud that Shawn is about to go into. Gets a 71 for Shawn, 64 for Sid, so if you hope based on performance, the right person won. And yeah, they slowly built the match, which Shawn was good at. Shawn's got good star quality, good charisma, good momentum, good selling. A lot more positives than Sid does, and no negatives. I think Shawn is the person to push out of these two, which they didn't do in real life until much later. But at 72, and the reason why this match happened and the reason why Shawn won is to set up a Hogan feud. Hogan blames Shawn Michaels for attacking him at the Rumble. Hogan comes in, all guns blazing, shouting, you attacked me, you got, a bit more eloquent than that, not as cavemanish. Actually, it's Hogan, maybe that cavemanish. I had a brother in there. Yeah. And so, Shawn and Sherry scarper through the crowd as Hogan stands in the ring. A 100 rating and the start of a big feud, which will potentially Mania, probably beforehand. Will probably be a big episode of Superstars, maybe the 4th episode of February, or go even longer, because I feel like we can push this so that Hogan keeps trying to get to Shawn, but Shawn being a bit of a chicken shit heel at this point, despite being very good in the ring. We can kind of play with this and them not touch each other until much later on. But a 100 rating, darn good stuff. And the main event is very disappointing, actually, for what I was... Because both of these guys were in the mid-80s for their ratings just a couple of weeks ago, and now for them to get 81 and 79 and get 76 overall is honestly a little disappointing. It's not what I hoped for. Maybe it was just the region we were in, that Ted was really over there and Bret was more over there. Which is a bit of a shame, but maybe we'll have to try again when we ever go back to the Great Lakes. But Bret did just pin a member of the Tag Team Champions. Maybe Bret and his cousin need to reunite for those and go after those belts. We'll see what Jack Tunney says, because he'll be opening the next episode. It's basically tell us when all of the big matches are going to happen between now and WrestleMania. What did we get overall, though? We got an 81, so we didn't lose any pop, which is exactly what we needed to hear. To be fair, I think we are safe from falling down a category, because we're not getting any matches which are like 77 or lower. It's going to be difficult for us to lose pop below 77, which is great news, in my opinion. It's very reassuring. But let me know what you guys thought, because that's what's most important. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.